Get ready as we dive into some of the most intense moments between teammates during the match. We'll see how the competition and hot-headedness of the professionals lead to conflicts and clashes. At number 10, we've got that moment when you can't take out your frustration on the coach, so you unleash it on a poor chair instead. Rafinha scored in the 76th minute to level the score at 2-2 for Barcelona against Manchester United during Europa League. But just 7 minutes later, Coach Xavi decided to substitute him, bringing on Ferran Torres. Furious with the decision, Rafinha lashed out in frustration, punching a seat in the dugout 3 times, which broke the headrest. Later, he apologized for lashing out. Then we have a headbutt between the Cameroon players during the 2014 World Cup, a match between Croatia and Cameroon. Cameroon suffered a heavy defeat of 4-0. Then Moise Ecuador was seen headbutting his teammate Benjamin Mukanjo.
Mukanjo, and nearly out-muscled.
Esu Ecuador headbutted Mukanjo after the striker refused to accept criticism from the 30-year-old. However, Esu Ecuador has since attempted to clear up the situation. He said to Le Cabe, "It all started with the first match against Mexico. Mukanjo was on my flank. He tried to dribble past 2 opponents and lost the ball. I told him he should pass it to me. He replied I was right. The same situation happened against Croatia again. Everyone can make a mistake, but when I told him again, he replied, 'Get off my back.' I could not accept his reaction. There was so much frustration in that match. Now people take me for an idiot. I could not control my temper. It would have not happened if the score was 0-0. Another similar instance took place at the Manchester City training. It seems like even the hot-headed players can get rowdy during a simple training. Emmanuel Adebayor and Kolo Touré were pulled apart after clashing in what was supposed to be a non-contact practice match to warm up for the trip to London and the coming together of the Premier League's 2nd and 3rd placed teams. Touré reacted angrily to a late tackle from Adebayor, which led to a brief scuffle between the players. Sportsmail has learned that the tension between them started 6 weeks ago when Touré, the vice-captain of City, publicly criticized players for speaking about team issues in the media. But sometimes, there can be a clash between a manager and a goalkeeper. Ederson, a Brazilian goalkeeper playing for Man City, dived to stop Christian Romero of Tottenham from getting a foot to a cross. And while he recovered the ball, he hit his head against Romero's hip. He got up and was allowed to play for several minutes while he seemed groggy. There were speculations for a concussion. He later substituted for Ortega, but he was not happy with the decision. He was mad and kept saying he was fine.
Ederson in the Premier League this season. He's reluctant to come off, but he clearly doesn't want to come off, but it's... The trouble is, Gary, he doesn't necessarily...
He was also seen arguing with Pep Guardiola on the touchline at the decision to be withdrawn, even kicking a water bottle on his way to the bench. Oh, if you're enjoying the video so far, I highly recommend you hit the like and subscribe buttons. Now back to the video. Next, we have a heated moment between Mohamed Salah and Jurgen Klopp. Mohamed Salah was angry because he was not a starter during the Liverpool vs West Ham match. Salah, who had been benched after facing heavy criticism for his performance in Wednesday's Merseyside derby, was waiting to come on with 11 minutes left at the London Stadium. He was seen having a tense moment with his manager. During their argument, Liverpool scored a goal, to which Jurgen said, "Do you want to go back to the bench?" Salah was seen saying, "Yeah, sure, send me back, I don't care." When asked if there was going to be a fire today, Salah jokingly says, "Of course." But Jurgen refused to tell the reporters anything about the incident. "No, we already spoke in the dressing room, and for me that is done."
West Ham back on terms.
Baseball already in dressing room for me.
But sometimes we see a physical altercation that is carried on in the dressing room. This happened during a match between Tottenham and Everton. Even though Tottenham won, all anyone could talk about was what happened between Son Heung-min and Spurs keeper Hugo Lloris. Hugo was fuming at Son for what he felt was not tracking back in Everton's midfielders. As the players headed towards the tunnel after the final whistle, a furious Lloris confronted Son, and tensions almost boiled over. Teammates had to step in to keep them apart as they left the pitch, with cameras capturing everything that unfolded in the dressing room afterward. After the match, the boys were seen hugging it out, and it was all just the heat of the moment. The next player got red carded for punching his own teammate. Galatasaray defender Marceau had butted and punched Kerem Aktürkoğlu. They were seen being separated by other members of the Galatasaray squad. Marceau was dismissed following a VAR review of the incident. However, the squad went on to win their Super League opener 2-0. Marceau received an 8-game suspension for assaulting teammate Kerem Aktürkoğlu, a punishment confirmed by the Turkish Football Federation. The Professional Board Disciplinary Board also fined Marceau 21,000 Turkish liras, or about $2,500.
Görev bölgesinden Kerem'in yanına tartışma başladı. Sinirler gerildi. Marcao'nun Kerem'e.
We cannot move any further without mentioning an outburst from our fan favorite, Cristiano Ronaldo. He was livid during the game against Porto in the Champions League. In 2021, he was playing for Juventus at the time when Juventus went on its way to the quarterfinals, but found themselves 1-0 down at halftime in the second leg. That made it a 3-1 aggregate advantage to Porto, and Ronaldo wasn't having any of it. Ronaldo, upon entering the dressing room, screamed, "We have to work harder!" What the hell? We didn't play at all, nothing! There was a clash between Juan Cuadrado and CR7 as well, where he said, "You must be an example for everyone." Next, we have Pepe's heated argument with 24-year-old midfielder Iliman Ndiaye. After their weekend, they both seemed words each other for a hug, but what seemed like a friendly interaction turned violent quickly. Loom said something the Porto captain didn't like, and he shoved the youngster. The team members and the referee had to intervene before it got ugly. Afterwards, Porto's coach Sergio Conceição said that the issue had been resolved. There's nothing to explain. These are normal things in football, he said. It happens when players from the same team have a different opinion. But nothing beats an all-out fight between two players of the same team during the match. At number 1, we have Newcastle teammates Lee Boyer and Kieran Dyer were sent off for fighting each other in the Barclays Premiership. The frustration of the match, 2 penalties, promising academy lad shot dead, eventually proved too much for Boyer, who believed that teammate Dyer was intentionally not giving him the ball. Dyer responded by saying, "The reason I don't pass to you is because you're bad," basically. The first punch was from Boyer, and in retaliation Dyer was about to hit as well, but their fight was intervened by the teams. Later, both the players apologized to each other and their fans. And if you enjoyed the video, do not forget to hit the subscribe button and be sure to leave a comment telling us your favorite moment. See you in the next video.